be able to call him. Instead of Aerapetian, we will have one more amazing speaker. She's a participant of Mars 116 mission. It's a mission of imitation of living on Mars, on the Earth. The same mission will be in Armenia in 24 year. So she participated in this mission in, as I remember, 2022. So she will talk about her experience. And then at the end, we will have Marat who take part in more than 20 missions from NASA. She had a great experience in space, and she will talk about how to create a space company. Please don't forget to pay 1,000 dram. So here is a special thing for payment because we want to support Marat Academy. Yeah, so let's start. I'm really glad to see all of you. We'll have here people in Astana, so it's a great event for us. And I want to tell about Space Ambition, our project, and I want to ask for Denis. He's the head of Space Ambition team to ask some words. Denis, are you here?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I wouldn't say that I'm head of Space Ambition. I'm one of the co-founders and the core team. So first of all, I am a principal at New York Venture Capital ATBF Global Ventures, and probably some of the participants of meetup in Yerevan know it because know the fund because of our investments in Service Titan and several others Armenian startups. And we also for quite a while worked in Almaty, in Astana, and in Kazakhstan. So this is kind of, I have had a lot of exposure and many friends there as well. So hi to everyone. Almost half a year ago, we decided to do something into space tech sector because I'm a rocket scientist. Marat is a rocket scientist. I have a lot of rocket scientists around me, and more importantly, we are all passionate about space and believe that space exploration and space tech development is the next leap for the humanity. Not only to explore to explore other planets, but also to build solid, sustainable space economy and solve many problems on Earth. With this idea, we decided to start Space Ambition. We started as a blog where we, on a weekly basis, post a niche research, 5 to 10 minutes read articles where we cover some niche space tech sectors, and we focus mainly on the business personas. We try to explain sophisticated stuff in simple words and show the opportunities, show the business opportunities, show the startups, public companies, VCs, and other ecosystem players, and show that space is actually near to us than most of us think, and there are much more people doing it, not only Bezos and Elon Musk. We started as a blog, and then the idea was to build a one-stop shop for space tech entrepreneurs and investors and enthusiasts, as all of you are. So we want to provide added value services for startups to become successful, and we want to inspire people who are maybe having like occupation in other positions and have expertise in some other areas of not related to aerospace, but dreaming of space, and at some point will decide to pursue the dreams and do something in this sector. So we're here for you. We do everything we do. We try to help you to be successful. And one of the things I like when we talk with people passionate about space is that all of them, regardless of the country they're living, I'd say it's kind of a space nation. So regardless of the race, nation, geography, when you meet a person passionate about space, you kind of talking to like your best friend. So with this idea, we started to do this these events in mixed formats. This is the second event we're giving. We did also a NASA hackathon in Tashkent, and we plan to do more events like that. So we do online to offline events, several amazing speakers, and we have a Telegram chat where you also can talk to each other, collaborate. Probably we will do hackathons at some point. So we're trying to do our best to mix you up, people, to provide something useful for you to succeed. And if you have any ideas, please feel free to reach out to me, Marat, to Artyom, team in Astana, to any of us. And if you have any ideas, just suggest. We'll try to do our best to fulfill them. Yeah. So Marat, happy to be with you here today. I hope that we will have a really amazing event, and looking forward to listen to the presentations. Yeah, the floor is yours, and I'll be silently listening to the rest of the event. Yeah, have fun, everyone. Have fun. Bye bye.
Yeah. Thank you, Dennis, for a nice introduction. So here we are. So let's start. I just wanted to start from my experience, who I am. So I have a degree in control of spacecrafts. Yeah, I worked 5 years in Mission Control Center in Russian Space Agency. But then I left it, and now here I am in Armenia doing some space projects. I had a different internship in different countries. For example, here's my photo in NASA. I spent last 2 months in India learning about CubeSats. I look like Indian here? Yeah, 2 months in India. So yeah, and exploring some different countries, different space system of different countries. I understand that we have to work together to explore space, and one of our mission, as Dennis said, is to unite people. So this is why we decided to do this event. Yeah. So I will start with. I will talk about why do we need the Mars mission, and our next speaker will continue this topic. So at first, I want to ask. So why do we need the space? We have a lot of problems on the Earth, so cataclysm, apocalypses, wars, fires. Why do we need the space? What do you think, guys? Why do we need the space? Just for fun? Any ideas? Maybe some ideas from Astana? Safety and defense safety, sure, especially for Armenia. Huh? Because we are in the space, we have to learn about who we are and where we are. Yeah, forecast. Yeah, it's one more important thing. Yeah, someone from another Earth. Yeah. So
studying space help us better to understand what's going on here on Earth. Kind of study what's there and learn about us more.
New knowledge. Yeah, right. So I will start with some philosophical way of this. So 1 second. Yeah, with philosophical start. So who we are, like who the humanity is. So we are like a child who just started to work, to walk on his bed, and just starting to climb out from this bed. This is what we are trying to do in space. We just started to walk in our bed and trying to go out. And to explore for evaluation of our humanity, we have to explore new areas. So this is how the life starts. The first bacteria starts in oceans, and these bacteria start to go to the land and explore new areas. So the same will be in space. for evaluation of our humanity, we have to find new areas, new knowledge, and etc. Do you know this movie? Interstellar movie. I love this movie because here is some interesting idea. So what is it in this movie? Some apocalypse comes to Earth, and people understand that we can't live on the Earth, and we need to find new planet. So we don't have to wait till some apocalypses come to Earth to explore the space. We have to at least have a direction where we have to fly if some bad things will happen on the Earth. This is one more thing why we need a space. And for me, one more interesting thing, and it's also inventions. So it's interesting how fast technological progress comes to our life. When the electricity was invented, people didn't even think that in 100 or 200 years after it, we will use the electricity in space. Yeah, so we don't understand where we will use technology which will be developed for Mars mission and etc. So technological progress comes to our life really fast. So here's a photo of New York Avenue in start of 20th century, and you can see that all people use horses. What do you think? How much time it was needed to change horses to cars? What do you think? 50 years. 15 or 50, 50? 10, 15. So 10 years. I was surprised. I thought that it might be 30 years, but only 13 years was enough for it. Only 13 years and horse totally changed to cars. It's interesting how fast the technological progress comes to our life. And the same in space. Nowadays we have a lot of technologies which we use from the space. I will just mention some of this. Of course, the navigation. Yeah, everyone use taxi, navigation system, and etc. Weather broadcasting, communication, data from space, and etc. So a lot of services we can get from the space, but not only services we can get from the space. Some technologies which we use for the space comes to our life too. For example, for Apollo missions, it was needed some strong materials, and this strong material started to use in medicine. For example, optic system in cameras in our phones. They use a matrix as a camera which was developed for space. And even the Air Max sneakers use the same technology which was used for astronauts. It's interesting that some usual technologies comes to our life from space also. But how the space starts? So I want to tell this story because not all people understand it, that space wasn't like, at first space wasn't for knowledge. It was a race between USA and Soviet Union, and how this race starts. So this race started from Germany. So here is the first military rocket of Germany called V2. And Germany hoped that this rocket will help in World War II. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. Fortunately, it didn't happen. Yeah, and all engineers who was worked on this rocket come to USA, and all this rocket itself come to Soviet Union. And this is how this space starts in Soviet Union in USA, from this military Germany rocket. And using this technology, the Soyuz rocket was developed, which was used for for International Space Station, and Saturn V, also the rocket which was used for Apollo mission, also was used the same technology as a V2. So space was a military and was a race. What we have nowadays? Nowadays we have 77 national agencies in the world and more than 5,000 commercial companies. 5,000. It means that more and more people go to space, and more even commercial companies provide any space solutions. And if we see how much satellites launch every year, we can see that every year more and more satellites is also launching since 2015. So it means that it becomes easier to go to space. It becomes easier to develop a satellite. So space become open for everyone. And it's interesting that when we say the spacecraft, we imagine something big like a car. But nowadays we have a technology called the CubeSat. It's a small satellite the size of this satellite, like my hand. And using these satellites, we can solve the real great technological tasks. And the number of this small CubeSat is also increasing. So here is a graphic of small satellites, and you can see that in 2023 will be launched 600 small satellites. And even 10 years ago, it was only 20 of these satellites. So it become easier to develop the satellites. Yeah, it's a very important point. And if we check all the space economy, now it is approximately $400 billion. Only quarter of this is governmental space. It means that space become more and more commercial. And here I want to mention main businesses in space. So the launch system, because more and more satellites launch to the space, so people start to provide some launch opportunities. Because it become easier to develop satellite, we need more equipment for it. So the satellite development is also one more big sphere of business. Earth-based equipment, of course, yeah, for a lot of satellites, we need a great Earth-based system, and also data from space become one more important business, because a lot of satellites do imaging, Earth observation, etc. And it's also a big business how to sell this data and etc. But today we are talking about the manned missions, about Mars and etc. And space tourism is also a big business. I want to say here a few words that in last year, a lot of space tourists was launched. In 1 year, the number of these people who was in space is more than in last decade. It means that that space become open for everyone. There are two opportunities how to go to space. There are two opportunities for orbital for tourism. There are two types of space tourism. It's suborbital flights, when we fly only for 100 kilometers and go back, and orbital flights like Gagarin did, full circle. And for suborbital flight, we don't need a lot of power. Approximately 2 kilometers per second of velocity, it's approximately 10,000 kilometers per second will be enough for these suborbital flights. And for orbital flights, we need 8 kilometers per second, for approximately 45,000 kilometers per hour. And if we compare suborbital and orbital flights in energy, we can compare it like this. So for suborbital flight, we don't need a lot of energy. This is why this flight is cheaper and easier. So the company which provides this technology, we can also compare like this. So what do you think? How much money we need to go to space? What does it cost? What do you think? For suborbital flights, any ideas? 400,000. Yeah, it's right. For suborbital flights, you have a right question. Yeah, for suborbital flight, we need approximately $300,000 or $500,000. And for orbital flights, million. Approximately 50 million. Yeah, it's still expensive, but we can see that for orbital flights, space become cheaper and cheaper, and it means that space tourism become open for us. So if you have a $300, you can go to the space. So one more important point why the space become open for us. So we have an international space station. It's a great, huge technological system. The size of it like a football field. The price of space station is approximately $50 billion. So several countries built it. But nowadays, some 4 commercial companies developing their own space stations. So in 10 years, 4 commercial space stations will be launched. And it's interesting that even the hotels, for example, Hilton Hotel, they invest in this space station because they understand that future of space tourism is tourism in space. But it's interesting that we have one company called Action Space, and this company have some connection with Armenia. Do you know what is the connection? Yes, the co-founder of this Action Space is Armenian, so Armenia take part in space tourism too. Yeah, and there is some other new interesting solution how to go to space. For example, here is a company called Space Perspective. They are developing the big balloon to go to space. Maybe not safe, but one more solution. So we can see that more and more companies provide solution to go people to space. But it's still expensive. But if we compare how the space tourism is developing, the same was in aviation. The first passenger flights was also expensive. For example, in 1954, flight from New York to London the cost was, for example, for approximately $5,000 for both sides. In 20 years, in 1975, the price decreased 2 times, approximately 3,000. It means that the same process was in aviation, and the same process is going in space. It means that maybe soon in 20 years, everyone will be able to go to space. It's an interesting idea. So what about Mars? Why do we need to go to? Why people need to go to the Mars? Because we have a Mars rover, and also Armenian take part in this. Airapetian, who is working with Mars rovers. Why do we need to go to space? We have some rovers, but let's imagine that you have a small toy car, and using this toy car, you have to explore new landscape. Yeah, you will find some for some basic research it's enough, but for fundamental research it's not enough. So this is why people need to go to Mars. If we compare how many information we get from Apollo missions, for one Apollo mission, for example, Apollo 11, this mission was more informative than all automatical missions before this. So this is why people need to go to space. And one more thing, maybe all that we can see from the Mars, it's something like this. And to go to Mars, we also need a lot of energy, a lot of power. So the Mars mission comparing to orbital and suborbital flight is something like this. And for Mars mission, we need a big rocket. And this rocket also is developing now. This rocket called the Starship rocket, which is developing from SpaceX, and the size of this rocket will be something like this, like Eiffel Tower. And one more important thing, that when we imagine fly to the Mars, we imagine something like this: the stations that we can see in movies, Interstellar, Martians, and etc. But what we have now? Something like this: the small modules. Of course, it will not be enough for Mars mission, but here SpaceX can solve this problem too, because Elon Musk said that his rocket will be enough for 100 people. Yeah, hopefully it's true. One more important thing that we have to solve in Mars mission is also radiation. And here we can we have 2 tasks: the radiation in flight and radiation on the Mars surface. And here's the interesting idea that radiation it's not a big issue, because all the astronauts has the maximum dose which they can get during space traveling, and the flight to the Mars and back equal to this maximum dose. So here's the interesting idea. For example, we have two candidates to space, Jim Bagyan, who is Armenian astronaut, and for example, me. And we have two scales, experience and radiation dose. Of course, Jim Bagyan has a great experience in space. He has a few flights on space shuttles, but he got some radiation dose in space. And me, I don't have any experience. I can do something wrong in space, but I got only radiation dose only in medical, some medical things. So whom we should send to the space? People who have experience, but it could be damage for him, for his health, or people who don't know anything about space, but it will be not dangerous for him. Hopefully we can go both like we did on Starmus. And when we imagine Mars base, we imagine something like this. But nowadays, scientists imagine Martian base something like this because we have some researchers, and it's enough to go down to Mars surface to 3 meters, and at this level, the radiation dose will be the same as the Earth. So maybe the next Martian missions will be under the ground. And it's interesting that some companies is also working to develop system how to create this Martian home. NASA was announced last year challenge for companies which will create the system how to 3D print a home from a Martian soil. And here is it. One company developed this system. And it's interesting that we can use this system on the Earth also to build houses on the Earth in some bad places. So it's interesting that technologies from Mars will come to our Earth too. So how is SpaceX planning to go to the space? Here's two interesting things that they are planning to do. The first one is refueling. After the start of rocket, we spend some fuel on the we spend some fuel, and then one more rocket will be launched to refuel the first one. Then SpaceX rocket land to the Mars, and there generate the new fuel. So the Starship will use the methane and the oxygen, and there is some technologies which become possible to generate fuel from Mars atmosphere. So we get a refuel and go back. So there is a 2K technology which they are planning to use to go to the Mars. Hopefully it become true. And what is next? What is next when we will have a Mars base? I think here's new era will start because all the technology which we have on the Earth, we have to transit to Mars, and it will create the new trading, new economics, new companies which will work for this transit. And I think for our technological progress, when it will be a big jump. And hopefully in 20 or 30 years, each of us will be able to go for vacation on Mars, not only to the sea. So thank you. Here's our Space Ambition QR code. You can subscribe. We have a few topics about Mars missions. So we'll be happy to if you will subscribe. Thank you. Do you have some questions? Yeah.
Thank you for the presentation and promoting the space technologies. I just want to add some small things about the Mars and Moon mission. About the first Mars rover that ever landed to Mars and the first Moon rover.
Yeah.
You know about it, I think. first Mars moon rover, Lunar 1, designed by Alexander Kenyugan. First Mars rover ever landed to Mars 50 years ago, designed by Alexander Kenyugan from Earth. And about the NASA Mars mission, when the head of NASA saw the Mars rover, which was designed by Alexander Kenyugan, he asked the colleagues, "Do we have something similar to this?" They said no. And then they started the Mars mission. So it started because of Armenian scientist Alexander Kenyugan.
Yeah. Thank you for this great addition. I will tell for our online guests that the first.
That's why the organ of Star was 50 years on Mars.
Yes.
Because Armenia was in Mars 50 years ago.
And there is a very small space museum in the engineering city. If you guys been there, you know. It's not super fancy, but it's interesting. And if you are there, you can see this entire journey of Armenian space technology and what's been done. So you can visit there, have a small tour.
And you can see in the museum the Armenian first satellite telescope, which was in space twice. Now it's in our museum.
Yeah. I should visit it. Yeah. Astana, did you hear this part, or should I repeat? Arman?
If you can repeat it, it will be great, Marat.
Yeah.
We didn't hear.
One of our guests had some very important additions that first rover, which was landed to the moon, was developed by Armenian scientist Alexander Kenyugan, and also the first Mars rover was developed also from Alexander Kenyugan. And when the head of NASA at this time saw this rover, he understands that his engineer is not able to develop the same things, and this is how the USA Mars mission started from Armenian scientists. Yeah, it's a very important addition. Another addition, yeah.
I want to add correct the number of agencies, space agencies. It's not 77, 78. Because 2 months ago, we have registered Armenian national, not national, but Aerospace agency.
Yeah.
We are now NASA.
Yeah. One more important addition that we have not 77 national agency. There are 78 because 2 months ago the Armenian agency was created, registered. Yeah, thank you. I think we will have a 5-minute break, and in 5 minutes Anastasia will come and tell about his experience in Mars mission. Okay, thank you.
Welcome.